Welcome to Secrets of Nursing Homes, giving you a sneak peek of the hidden underbelly of nursing homes. Hi. There's a lady, her name was Adele, and she lived quite a while back. She just recently died last year. Her name was Adele. She grew up in rural Wisconsin, not by any of the big cities like Milwaukee or Madison, but a small town that was quite far away from anything. Adele loved living there. In the backyard there were many trees, and there was a pond. It was beautiful. In the spring, she loved noting nature and the things that she saw at the pond. She'd look at the pond, and there were little pollywogs swimming around, and there were little insects they had like little legs, and they skittered across the top of the pond. And she loved painting that stuff in. She loved the crisp smell of the air, and she could hear the rustling of the wind. And Adele just loved painting in the spring. The wildflowers were out. They were maybe 2-3 inches purple and pink and white. It was just a very pleasant time of the year. In the summertime, the water was warm enough to go swimming. Her and her brothers and sisters would go into the water and swim. They would pretend that they were actors. They would make up their own synchronized dancing and swimming and had so much fun. The tiger lilies were up. They were about knee-high, bright orange colors. The water was warm. You could just relax in it. Or you could do somersaults and swim as fast as you could. Adele loved the summertime. And then it was fall. The trees' leaves fell and the underbrush thinned, and she could start to see rabbits and little squirrels. She could hear the sounds of the chickadees. It became a neat place. You could step on the grass and it would crinkle crisply underfoot. It was a fun time. And during the fall, the pond was cleaned and it was redug out for the next year. It was exciting, and the plows went in and out to move everything away. Then winter came. Winter was an awesome time. The lake got so hard you could walk on it. And it was so neat. It might have little cracks here and there, but you could walk on it, and the longer the winter lasted, the thicker the ice became. And the favorite thing to do on the pond was ice skate. She would take off and she would fly all the way across the pond because there was nothing to stop her. There was no end to the pond, it seemed like. And she would just twirl and do long strokes and do a little pirouette in order to stop. But she, every time it snowed, she could see the snowflakes coming right down onto the pond, onto her, just lazily drifting down. And she knew the next day she'd have to get out her shovel and clear off the snow from the pond so she could go ice skating again. The woods were interesting. It was very still in the woods in winter surrounding her pond. And again, very fun to paint and do her charcoal and chalk drawings of the pond. Eventually, Adele grew up and she moved to the big city, place where all artists in that area went, and that was Minneapolis. So exciting. But she had left her pond behind, and she missed those serene, calm moments that she spent out there at the pond. But you got to ice skate. In Minneapolis, there's a lot of ice skating rinks. Pay 50 cents, get in for 2 hours. They play beautiful music, and you just ice skated to that rhythm. And it was so much fun. So she still got her ice skating. And but she felt kind of hemmed in by the big city, and eventually moved up north where she could be by the lake, and she could watch the lakes during the changes. She lived next to a park and a stream called Chester Park. The stream would just flow right through the park, and every season it was like watching her pond. It would change the flow of the water, the scenery around it, the animals that came and visited. She settled in nicely, and one day she decided to take a trip up the North Shore, just going farther up toward Canada. And she came upon a house for tourists where you could come and buy knickknacks and things. And they had a little place you could sit down and overlook Lake Superior. And so she came and she sat down and she got out her drawing pad and she started watching the lake and drawing. She said, I think I'll come back here every week, just like I did at the pond, and I'll document the changes on the lake. Well, the proprietor of the store noticed that she was drawing and really liked her drawings. They worked the deal out that every week she would bring in a couple more pieces, and if they sold more, she would bring more, and if they sold less, she would hold back a little bit. That was great. And it was a nice form of a little profit for her, but she could just do what she's always wanted to do, and that was to draw. And pictures of water and pictures of wildlife and nature. So she's always loved that. Eventually, over the years, the relationship between her and the proprietor deepened, and they fell in love and got married. They lived happily many years. They had 3 children, and life went on, and it was good. But eventually, as it does for most people, as time passed, her health failed, her memory faded, and out of necessity, her family placed her into a local nursing home. They specifically chose a certain nursing home because there's a beautiful lake right there. You could see it outside the window. But the nursing home put her on the other side, overlooking a parking lot and the dumpsters. And they said, well, when a room opens up over there, we'll be happy to put her there. Well, a room did open up. And they wouldn't move her, and they said, no, right now she's happy where she is. But Adele wasn't happy. She missed her wildlife and her nature, her drawing. All she could see was dirty old garbage cans, and she missed what she had her whole entire life, and she grew sad, and she grew quiet, and she would cry. And another room opened on the side by the lake, and they wouldn't put her in it. To be honest, nursing homes sometimes, even though they can move somebody, they think it's too much work. It's too much work to move a person from this room where they're unhappy to this room where they're happy. It doesn't cost them any extra money. They just don't want to do it. So Adele came at the wrong time, and she ended up in the wrong place. But if your loved ones happen to go to a nursing home, and you've specifically chosen that nursing home because of the beauty, because of maybe a lake or a pond, and they don't get to have a room next to it, you need to stay on their case and say, well, I see a room is opened up. Because if you don't pressure them, they won't move. They won't do anything. And a new person coming into the nursing home will get that spot. Adele never did go outside again. They never let her on the patio. They never took time to bring her out and sit her down so she could see the trees and the sky, so she could see the water, like she was so used to her whole life. I was like, poor Adele. I feel sorry for her. And her life ended sadly. And she was not cheered up because at the time she was put into the nursing home, she lost everything. She lost her home, she lost her nature, the beauty, her drawing. They took her art projects and they put them in a drawer and they said, well, when we have time, we'll bring them out. Well, we never had time. So what I wanted to do was tell you a little bit about Adele so you would think about your own circumstances. Don't take no for an answer, but push. Always push for the things that are good for you and that are right. Whether it's living in a nursing home or in the job, or in anything for that matter. Well, thanks for listening to our story. Give us some thoughts. Thank you for watching. If you like us, please subscribe and pass it on. Consider becoming a Patreon to help us pass this information on to people who really need this. Thank you so much.